He is here because he wants something from the European Union. He wants to relaunch talks about Turkey's bid to join the European Union. That is something that was basically on ice for 3 years because Turkey was heavily criticized by the European Union for its stance on human rights and many other issues. That was a time when Turkey was in good shape economically and financially. Now things look different, and Turkey is looking for friends desperately. Remember, the Trump administration has slapped heavy sanctions and tariffs on Turkey. The Turkish currency, the lira, lost almost 40% of its value over the summer. There's hyperinflation in the country. Moody's, the US rating agency, just downgraded the leading Turkish banks and big companies. So Turkey is in bad shape. They're standing with their back against the wall. The Turkish government is under pressure. By next summer, in the summer of 2019, Turkey has to repay more than 150 billion euros of foreign debt. That's a very, very big sum. And if you are in such a hot spot, you desperately need friends and allies. And why not the European Union? Why not Brussels? And yesterday, the Turkish Foreign Minister said that Turkey is ready to advance its reforms. He was talking about the judiciary, fundamental rights, freedoms, etc. All these issues that were stalled over the last 3 years. So this is why he's here, and he hopes that the European Union will listen to Ankara.
And also on the agenda and causing some controversy is the planned land swap between Kosovo and Serbia, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is something right out of the history books. It's a remainder and a reminder of the war in the Balkans back in the 1990s. So what happened was that Kosovo and Serbia, two arch enemies, started talks about a land swap, which basically means that a territory in Kosovo, which is predominantly occupied by Serbs, and a Serbian part of a Serbian territory predominantly occupied by Kosovars will be swapped so that the ethnic groups belong to their respective country, if you want. Now, this is very controversial because, as 3 ex-EU High Commissioners have said in an open letter to Federica Mogherini, the EU foreign policy chief, if we let this happen, so they say, well, we're going to open a can of worms and deepen the divisions that are already existing. Instead, we need to tell them, look, you need to learn to live with several ethnic communities in your society. If they start doing that, other ex-enemies of the war will come up with a similar plan. So it's a little confusing here, especially because the EU hasn't made a strong point here. So this is something that will certainly emerge as a controversy, Tokes.